and the server is available. It was available.
Yes.
Yeah, we were wondering what word it was. If I'm pretty sure, I think we were talking about.
Yeah, I thought it started.
Started.
I think you said available.
I think maybe I did. I know I said it was going to be green. Green for happy.
Yes.
All right.
It is green.
It is green. Our
and
server.
off-center.
Our what?
And it's also off center.
What do you mean? Oh, the scrolly bit.
No, the status.
Where?
It's off. It's like.
Oh, it's a good bit of padding. Anyway, let's get back
Anyway.
into what we're talking about. The server is up and running, and now we want to be able to connect to it. And to connect to our MySQL server, we use a program called MySQL Workbench. And you can Google MySQL Workbench, and you might find SQL Workbench. I like this one. It's called SQL Workbench. Has no relation to the product MySQL Workbench, and they even link you to say, "Hey, go over to this website and download it."
That's nice of them.
It is very nice of them. So no, you don't want SQL Workbench. You want MySQL Workbench. It is blue. It's not you want it because it's blue. You want it because it's the one that's connected to MySQL. Get 6.3. If you go to mysql.com/product/workbench, you will find it. Otherwise, you can just Google it and you'll find it.
It's open source, the world's most popular open source database.
All right, it's still open source. Woohoo!
Cool.
Cool. So download MySQL Workbench and install it, and then go ahead and open it, which I am doing now. All right. So when you're up here and you go, I'd like to connect to my database, you will find MySQL connections. Click on the plus symbol. So I've got my local one here. I'm going to click on the plus symbol. It's going to pop up with something, and I'm going to call this one Unity Analytics. This is the name of the connection, not the server. So you don't have to worry about that part. We're going to connect to it through standard TCP/IP. Our host name we need to know. And the host name we can get from going to the RDS console. And if we expand this guy with the drop down, then we will find the endpoint that we're trying to talk to. So click on it, copy. Wait, what have I done? Go away. There we go. If you don't see your server anymore, make sure that you're still on the region that you had created it on. If you're switching to a different region, you won't see your server. All right, so back to my SQL connection. Put in the host name of what you copied. Take out the port, and then the port is 3306. The username that we had connected was Sweet Beans.
Sweet Beans.
And then the beans a sweet password, which when you go, where do I put my password? Oh my goodness, come down to test connection, and it'll ask you for the password. Actually, it's not going to ask me. Oh, there it goes. Yes, it did. Great. Store the password in the vault so that it will remember it, and it will always let us connect. Successful connection made. Hooray! Then we go OK, so then it will save the connection, and now you can just click in here and go, let me in. Now, if you didn't save the password, when you click on this one, it'll go, oi, what's the password?
Okay.
All right. Now, depending on where you are in the world will affect your connection speed to the database. So we are here in Sydney talking to a server in Oregon. So as we talk to it, we'll have a slight delay. But if you've picked the region that is directly next to you, like if we pick Sydney, then it's super fast. So keep that in mind. Now, if you have just tried to connect and it didn't let you connect, you tried to do your password test and it said, I can't actually find the server to connect to. That is because you can come back to the RDS cluster, to the RDS dashboard, find the instance, expand the instance, and then come to the second tab here on the left, which is details. And in here, you will have a security group. We've got ours as RDS Launch Wizard 1. We'll click on that one.
So they made a thing for us.
They made a thing for us, yes. And I don't know if I have already adjusted this. Like, did it create one that I already had existed that I'd already adjusted or not?
That's what I always get confused with.
So you can give these names and call them something else that makes more sense. Except that I'm going to skip over that and be a bad boy. Here we go. So yeah, all right. This one I've already got set up to connect to from my IP, which is here in the office. So I don't know if that one was set up by RDS or if I had set that one up myself. But anyway, so if you can't connect to it, then you go to the inbound rules. The inbound rules will tell you what type of connection is allowed to your security group, and then that security group gets applied to the server.
Yeah.
So we go edit, and then go add rule. Now, if we're going to have to change this anyway, because if we want the cluster, the Spark cluster, to be able to write to our MySQL server, then we need to give it access to do it. But I don't know what the IP address range, what the IP is of the Spark cluster. So I'm going to go in the type of connection that we're allowed. We're going to pick MySQL. We're going to pick what's the source of the traffic going to be, and I'm going to pick anywhere, because it'll just allow everywhere to connect to it. Now you can lock it down to your individual IP. If you've got a specific source that you're getting data in from, then you would put that IP in there to allow only yourself to connect to it. Yeah, but note that there's no other type of connections in here. We don't allow HTTP connections. We don't allow remote desktop connections. It just says, hey, you're allowed to talk to the SQL only. And we go, awesome, save. So if you can't connect to it, check your inbound rules on your security group, and then give it a bit of time, and they apply pretty fast. They apply within like 2 to 3 seconds.
Cool.
So give it a small waiting session, and then you'll be in your database. So let's look at MySQL's interface. In the middle, the big middle area here, we have our place where we would write our select statements. Select stuff from cool table, and that'll come up with nothing because we don't have a cool table.
Yep.
I don't have a cool. No, I need a cool table.
We can fix that.
We can fix that. We can make one. Anyway, so we go. Hooray! What am I looking for? Down here on the left-hand side, we have our schemas. So these are effectively our databases. If you've worked with a different system before. So Unity Analytics is the one that we made.
What are the other two?
Sys is the system database, and InnoDB is because MySQL is running on InnoDB.
InnoDB?
The thing that runs MySQL.
Whoa. It's like a database.
It's a database in a databaseception. No, it's the engine that runs it. Anyway, let's move on with this one. So Unity Analytics, we can say, hey, what tables do you have? Nothing. What views do you have? Nothing. What stored procedures or functions do you got? I got nothing. I'm an empty database. You go, awesome. That makes sense because we just made you. All right. So then we go. We want to make a new user. We don't really want to have the root user be the thing that's doing everything. So we'll come to users and privileges up here on the top left.
Yeah.
And we'll click on that one. And if you're running it and you're thinking it's running slow, again, it's because it's talking to a server far away from you. If you pick one that's nice and close, it'll be very fast. So now we can add a new account, and we'll call this one Sweeter Beans.
What about sweetest beans?
Do you really want to go? It's the sweetest?
No, let's go sweeter. Sweeter beans.
Sweeter Beans. Just putting a double E in there, not sweater beans.
Sweater beans.
It just doesn't sound delicious.
Sweaty beans.
Sweaty beans. Authentication type we'll leave as standard. Host matching, we'll leave that as that. We'll put the password in as, what do we want to be? I am the sweetest of all
beans.
Of all beans. Password might be too long.
I am beans.
Of all beans. Possibly too long. And I'm going to apply that to see if it'll let me use the password. It is it is a security hazard to use to create an account with no password.
What?
Yeah, the password is too long.
That's...
Oh, hang on. Confirm password. Whoops. Password. Confirm password.
Well, that's medium strength.
That's
we need
medium.
We need to add more characters. No, sorry, not characters. Exclamation marks and stuff.
Exclamation and %.
That will make it very secure.
Is it too long though?
Even though it's
strong. Apply.
Strong.
It's doing it. Yes, it worked. Did it? Yes, it did, because it's over on the left-hand side. The only thing is, it has no access to anything.
Oh.
We've just created it and said, you're a user on the database. And it goes, cool, what can I do? Can I talk to Unity Analytics? No, you don't even know that database exists. So we'll come along here and we'll go through the tabs. Account limits. No, you can have unlimited connections to the database. That's fine. Administrator roles is we would like to leave all of these things alone. But it's pretty cool. As you tick these, you can create specific things that your user can do by ticking things. Or you can go, you know what, I'd like to be a user admin, and it'll pick the things that give you the ability to create users and reload users. So I'm going to leave all this alone and then go to schema privileges and say add an entry over here in the bottom right or middle right and say you can talk to Unity Analytics. And it'll go, hooray, I can talk to Unity Analytics. What can I do? Nothing.
Oh.
We'll just tick all the boxes. Update, delete, show view.
Wait, what happens if you have all selecting certain stuff but you don't have execute?
Well, execute's a stored procedure.
Oh.
Um,
True, yeah.
So
Right.
what do we want you to be able to do? We want
Yeah.
you to be able to do everything. Is there a select all button? There is, over here in the bottom right. Just go for that.
Select open quote, all close quote.
Yep. And then we chill while it applies all that stuff onto the database for us, for our user. Did it do it? Okay, cool. It doesn't give you confirmation. It just goes grey and says I'm done. You can tell I haven't had to do that in a while. Yeah, awesome. So now we can connect to it. So we've set up an RDS server. We have set up a user on our RDS server. We have had a very brief look at MySQL Workbench. Let's go ahead and get some data from Spark and push it to our MySQL server.
Sounds good.
Awesome. See you in the next video.
See ya.